Hey everybody, Dr. Bob Haggerton here, and I'm super pumped and super honored to be able to lead you through these next two awesome videos teaching you about so many of the different amazing products that we have in Young Living. In this first one, in Let's Talk Oils Volume 1, we're going to go over different essential oils. I'm going to go over different ingredients in part of them and some of the things that you're going to find and a lot of the different systems and stuff that they are really good for so that you can understand how to use them better. And Let's Talk Oils Volume 2, we'll talk about supplements and a lot of our infused line. So let's get started. First oil that we're going to talk about on this video is a crowd favorite, lavender. Even people who aren't in Young Living, who aren't even used to essential oils, who aren't utilizing essential oils for their family at all, understand lavender, and they at least know what lavender is. But the interesting thing about lavender is that you realize that there's over 100% more lavender that's actually sold every year than is actually grown around the world, which is scary, which means that lots of the lavender is used in more perfumes and that kind of thing. And so the quality of the oil is so important that you're getting in Young Living. So let's talk about lavender and some of the things that's awesome about it. The first thing that most people are so used to lavender is that it's very calming and it's really relaxing. Unless you're me, and it really gives me a ton of energy. So that goes into other uses in oils and stuff. We'll get into that later. But lavender is a really, really calming oil that people love for sleep. So they like to be able to use it either on their pillow or have a diffuser by the bed, especially if you have kids, because lavender is an oil that is not a hot oil. So when we talk about peppermint, and we get to a couple slides on that, we'll talk about the fact that some of the oils are a little bit hotter, and so there's ways to be able to make sure that that oil is really comfortable if you're using it topically and things like that. But with lavender, it's really easy because lavender is not hot at all. It's not irritating to the skin. As a matter of fact, it's really awesome for the skin. So adding it to some of your skincare line, being able to put it on different areas of the skin is really great as well. And lavender is one that they call the Swiss Army knife of essential oils because it's just really great for so many different systems. It's great for the respiratory system and supporting the lungs. It's great for the skin, like we said. It's really great for supporting digestion a lot of times. So lavender is one that is there's an oil that a lot of people start with. And it's one of the oils in the premium starter kit that people are like, you know what, I started diffusing that one first, loved it, and it's the one that got them on their oily journey to start with. So lavender's a great one. So check that one out. Try it with your skin. I love to add that one, and I recommend people to add it to frankincense to be able to add for skin stuff. So really great one. All right, next up, like I said, one of the hotter oils is peppermint. Okay, so peppermint is one, if you're new to oils and you're brand new to essential oils, one of the things that we talk about a lot as far as essential oil safety is if you're brand new and you're like, I don't really know how to use these things, I don't really know what to do with them. If you're gonna put an oil topically on your skin, especially if it's one like peppermint or it's like Thieves that is coming up later on in the lineup that is a hotter oil, you wanna make sure that you're using what we call a carrier oil. So that's a fatty vegetable oil like coconut oil or olive oil, one of those oils, jojoba oil, almond oil, there's different ones that helps to thin the oil out and make it not as irritating to the skin, because every now and then with a hotter oil you can feel it, like it'll get hotter, right? It doesn't change the frequency of the oil, which is fantastic, so you're still getting the benefit of all of that peppermint essential oil, but it's just not as hot and it doesn't irritate the top of the skin. So keep that in mind, especially if you're using it on kids. One rule of thumb as well is just start on the bottoms of the feet. So if you've never used oils topically, a great way to start is to put them on the bottoms of your feet, on the soles, because the skin in that area is thicker and it's not as sensitive, but it also has really large pores to be able to draw the oil in so that your body can figure out where it needs to use it, and you can use that frequency all over the body, and that's a great way to do it. So with peppermint, a few different points about peppermint oil is it's really energizing. You know, it's one that people like to use to wake them up in the morning, to get them going, right? And so it's kind of like almost the opposite of lavender, where lavender is very relaxing and it's very calming, and it's one just to help with daily stressors. Peppermint is one to like get you jazzed up and get you ready to go, which is why so many athletes like to use it for exercise. It's really great for getting them ready and getting their body ready for exercise and waking them up. And if you're like me, I mean, I like to work out in the mornings, but I don't like to work out in the mornings, if you know what I mean. So getting up and getting ready to go, peppermint is a great one to be able to get your brain engaged and get your body on task. And the reason is because it's a really great oil to help your lungs, help your breathing, deliver oxygen into the body. So if you're being active, and you're going to go for a run, or you're going to go lift weights or do cross training or whatever, you need the oxygen into those muscles. Like, you need your muscles getting all of that nutrition and getting the oxygen, because that's where the fuel comes from, right? Well, Peppermint helps to deliver that. And you can look up, they've got great studies on utilizing peppermint oil in college athletes and how much it benefits the oxygen and benefits their respiratory system. Super amazing. And so that oxygen that it delivers helps to drive it into your blood so that the blood gets more oxygen to be able to take it to the muscles, take it to your organs, and everywhere else that you may need it. Really, really beneficial. It's also really good for digestion, and peppermint is one oil for guys that I hear them talk about the most, that the oil that really, did it for them, that really got them going, hey, these things really work. You know what I mean? Because like most guys are like, hey, I don't want to smell like a flower, and that's fine. But they're really all about results. Like a guy, most guys like me want it to work. Like, is this really going to work, right? Well, peppermint oil is a really good supporter for digestion. So even being able to breathe it in helps to calm down digestion and support that normal digestive enzyme release and the acid balance. So guys really like to use that and like to be able to breathe it in, and have had incredible success from a lot of the men around the nation that I've talked to as I've traveled and stuff, and that was the one oil that really got them going and got them interested in using other oils for their health. So if you have a guy that's kind of on the fence, he's like, I don't really know if I want to use these, peppermint is a really good starter oil a lot of times. It's also really great, if you're diffusing peppermint, it just like really lightens up the room, like it really opens it up. Okay, third up, we're going to talk about lemon. Now, my wife and I are both chiropractors. We've been in practice for 14 years. I know, I don't look old enough for that. You can say it, it's true, but I've been in practice a long time. And in the office, we utilize essential oils for patients, and we recommend them, and we see lots of kids. Lemon oil is probably one of my top 2 to 3 oils that I sell in the office, period, because of all of the different things that it does. I mean, lemon oil is really versatile. It's incredible in your water. And so one of the things that we recommended to patients for years and years was, hey, just add lemons into your water to be able to support digestion, support acid balance, in the stomach and things like that, which is great. Well, lemon essential oil helps to do the exact same thing. So you can put a drop or 2 in your water, which normally in a bottle of water, like let's say like a 24-ounce bottle, 1 to 2 drops is normally plenty. You can do the same with peppermint with the Vitality line. Again, with peppermint though, with it being hotter, you'd want to use normally 1. Like 1 drop is plenty. So with lemon, you can do a couple drops. And we always recommend, make sure that you're remembering, another rule of thumb on the safety of utilizing the oils is if you're using lemon, let's say, just because we're talking about this one right this second, and you're putting it in something to drink, make sure that you're drinking it out of either stainless steel, like a Yeti or a Hydro Flask or something like that, or out of glass. If you put it in a plastic bottle or you put it in like a styrofoam cup, these oils remove what we call petrochemicals, like they attack and break down petrochemicals like plastics and stuff like that, so they could eat it. So you don't want to wear what you're drinking, and so make sure you just put the oil in glass or stainless, and it works great off of that. So again, lemon for digestive support is another really good one. We love it for that. It helps to balance pH, which is really important for our immunity, but it's also important for you to be able to break down the different foods that you're ingesting on a daily basis. Really important. It's also really great for cleaning up gunky stuff. So like, let's talk about like chewing gum on the bottom of your shoe, chewing gum in your kid's hair, things like that, like stuff that's like you want to get off of something like, for example, my son had a bandage on that he had on for a little bit, so he took it off. Well, to be able to get that extra little stuff off, lemon is fantastic at removing those things or getting sticky stuff off. In the office, we do a lot of therapeutic taping, like we use different kinesio type taping. Well, we tell patients to be able to use it to get that adhesive to open up, and it's an awesome one to help with cleaning, so you can add it to your cleaner, especially if you're using like the Thieves household cleaner that we'll talk about in volume 2. And that's a really great way to be able to increase the cleaning capacity for the stuff that you're using. And it just smells fantastic. Like it smells crazy clean, which is awesome. It's really powerful for circulation and supporting the lymphatic system. And not to go way off into the science on this, even though I totally want to geek out on it, but your lymphatic system, found up here in the neck, underneath the arms, in the groin area, is the system in the body that's like the trash can system. So think of the garbage truck guy. Your lymphatics are the ones that pull a bunch of stuff out of your body, like on a daily basis, the byproduct of what you're breaking down, push it into these lymphatic channels, and then from you moving and like doing stuff and like moving around, the muscles squeegee and push all that stuff out and moves it all the way through the body. So it's really key for your body on daily detoxification to be able to move stuff through your lymph nodes, right? Like your blood vessels have the heart pumping stuff through, but your lymph nodes have your muscles. Like if you're moving perfect, then it'll move out. Well, lemon and lemongrass, another one that we'll talk about, but lemon is really great to make sure that that lymph system is cycling through really well and the fluid's moving really well to be able to make sure that the body can do what it needs to do. And at the end of the day, that's the reason you're using essential oils. Like essential oils are not medications, right? Like essential oils are to aid the body in doing what it's already created to do. Right? Like you're using the essential oils to support the body in what it is created to do in the first place so that it can do its job. And for lemon, lymphatics is a really big one that it really helps with a whole lot. Okay? All right, so next up is the #1 seller in all of Young Living in the history of the company, Thieves. There's an entire Thieves line now in the company that is fantastic. You know, from the oils to cleaners to toothpaste to, you know, dish soap, on and on and on. There's so many different products now, which is really fantastic. But Thieves as an essential oil is a powerhouse for immune support. So if you look at the ingredients on Thieves, and I'm going to go through some of these blends because the other, like lemon and peppermint, those are what we call single oils. Lavender, lemon, peppermint are singles. It's like it's just got lavender in it, or it's solely peppermint. But Thieves is a blend. So it's got multiple essential oils in the blend that work synergistically, like they work together, like they're all friends, to support certain systems in the body and achieve specific results, right? So Thieves contains clove, which if you look up clove, has the highest antioxidant rating of anything they've ever studied, ever. Which is amazing. It's amazing. So look that up. Antioxidants are great for immunity. It's got lemon in it, which we just talked about. It's got cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Now, again, Thieves is a warmer oil. It's hotter. So with Thieves, you want to make sure that if you're putting it on topically on yourself or your family, that you're using dilution on that unless you're really used to it and you know that it doesn't bother you. You know, if you're diffusing it, you can do it by itself or add other stuff to it. So, you know, just something to think about on that. Immune support is the first thing I want you to think about when we say Thieves. I say Thieves, you say, that's right, immune support. But good, you guys are awesome. Great for household cleaning. Again, there's a Thieves household cleaner we'll talk about. You can make your own with the Thieves oil, the essential oil. But because it does such a great job at getting rid of unwanted guys, you know, on your countertop or anywhere else, it's a great one, and it's a #1 pick for cleaning, you know, in the home. And it's amazing to be able to diffuse in the air to clean the air. So one of the greatest benefits of using the diffuser and doing like Thieves in it is instead of having the different air fresheners that have lots of toxins in them and things that just aren't good for our body that we don't need to inhale all the time, using a diffuser with something like peppermint, like we talked about, or Thieves is a great way to be able to freshen up the air, help to get unwanted things out of the air, to help boost immunity for everyone in the home without the toxins that these other things have, which is fantastic. I mean, that's the goal, right? To help our body do the best that it can, to live as healthy a life as we possibly can, and to get as much junk out of that was be going into our system as we can. I mean, that's exactly, you know, what we want and what all of us want. Now, one thing I want to say about the diffusers at this point, you know, we talked about topical application and using dilution. We talked about internal application and making sure it's in glass or stainless. With diffusers and using a diffuser that actually emits the different particles into the air, I think that people get a like kind of a misconstrued idea that it's less therapeutic, like that diffusing is less of an impact on the body than topical. Like you're doing something with the topical, so you feel like you're doing more to the body. And that's just not true. Like diffusing is incredibly therapeutic because you're breathing the particles in. So like take Thieves, you're breathing the particles in. It's going all the way down into the lungs, gets all the way down into the capillaries and the alveoli, which is the littlest part of the lungs. And because the essential oils and the particles are so tiny, because they're so little bitty, they can get across that vessel lining and into the blood supply and get taken all over the body. Incredible. I mean, like, does the body not just blow your mind? Like, does creation not blow your mind? I mean, it does mine. Again, like, I'm going to totally geek out on you guys, and I'm going to veer off into science, and so I got to stay on track. We got to get going on this. Okay, next one up, one of my favorite oils that I literally use on a daily basis frankincense, all right? So when in doubt, I always say when I'm traveling and when I'm teaching patients and stuff, I go, hey, when in doubt, pull frank out, right? Like if you don't know what to use and you're like, I really don't know what to do, then grab your frankincense, because frankincense will probably support it, okay? It helps support soft tissue repair. And so like if you're an athlete and you're working out, or even if you're not, if you're literally like at home and you're not exercising and you're not doing movement, which still creates, you know, little strains and little things that the body has to adapt to, then using frankincense on those joints and on the muscles is a fantastic way to be able to promote that normal repair and to help with the circulation in that area as you're going about your daily basis. So that's an awesome way to do it, right? It's great for immune support. So whether you're using it topically or you're using it in the diffuser, like we talked about with Thieves, it's a great way to be able to boost your immune system and support it. And it's also very, like, so immune system, very important, right? Digestive system, very important. Neurological system, like your brain and spinal cord, most important. So immune support and neurological support are both things that frankincense does very well, as good or better than any of the oils that we have in Young Living and that we have really to use today. And so knowing that it supports the most important systems in our body is a win-win. Like I use it every single day, multiple times a day, because I mean, why not get that support? It's incredible. And honestly, it was one of the oils that was given to baby Jesus. So, I mean, if it's good enough for JC, right? It's good enough for me, and it's got to be good. So grab that one. So what do we got next? So the next oil that's a favorite of moms, right? This is a favorite for moms everywhere, is Purification, okay? Well, if you're a mom and you have teenagers who stink, boys, and you have a husband who stinks, boys, or if you just have smells around the house that you're like, I just don't like that, Purification is incredible at removing smells that are not wanted. So one of the things that we use in the house and that we recommend is like taking a cotton ball and putting a couple of drops of Purification on it and sticking it in your shoes, or putting it in, like we had bought a new car one time, and because of the smell in the car, we were like, well, we want that out of there. So we put cotton balls in the floorboard on the car to be able to draw that smell out, and it's an amazing way to be able to do that, again, without the toxins that you would get in other air fresheners and things like that. So you can diffuse it, like I said, or put it on the cotton balls to be able to get that effect. You can also add it to paint if you're painting at your house. One great tip and a little trick that you can do is if you go to the store and you buy regular paint, there's things in the paint that smell. They're called VOCs. Right? Doesn't matter. We're not going to go into that, but that's what smells, right? So if you go into a newly painted house and it just, you're like, woo, I can smell that. Well, you can take that paint can and add, 2 or 3 drops or 4 drops of Purification into the paint to reduce a lot of that smell and to help with the odor and things like that. So really great tip if you're a DIYer or you're flipping houses and awesome stuff like that, or if you're just sprucing up a room, right? Check that out. Very helpful if your skin, for your skin and topically, if you're not best friends with bugs outside or with mosquitoes and things like that, to be able to add that topically to that area, soothe the skin, help with that, that irritation that happens, and to be able to support the skin in that area. That's another great way to use it. Different things that are in it. So if you look at the ingredients in Purification, it's got lemongrass, tea tree, also, which is also known as melaleuca, that you may know it that way, tea tree, rosemary, myrtle, lavender, and citronella. So great lineup in that, and it's just an amazing way to be able to help with odors and with different things like that. So grab that one. You're going to definitely want to use it and get experience with it. And that's really what you're doing with any of these oils. Like, you're creating experiences. You're doing your own research in your home. And as a mom, if you're watching this, or a dad, or whoever, college kid, whoever's watching this, like, you are the scientist in your home. So if you grab Purification and you use it for XYZ thing and you love it, then it worked for you on that. Like, you did a scientific study for that one thing. So no matter what a blog says or anything else, we're like, oh, well, that's not what lemon's for. You're like, well, I used it for that and it was amazing. Stick with it and get all your experiences and your own testimonies of the different oils. And that's part of the fun of all the different oils that you can use and learning about them and all the different things that you can do with them. All right, moving on. Next oil blend that our kids love is RC, okay, RC. So RC, when I say RC, you think lungs and respiratory support, okay? RC, Lungs and respiratory support. That's your part. All right. Keeps the air moving through the respiratory tract really well. Ellie, our 6-year-old daughter, is one that we use for her a lot. And we use that one on her chest. Like you can put it topically on their chest or on their back or for yourself. But you can also just diffuse it. So our kids, there's a diffuser going on in their room every night, and we'll change it depending on what we wanted to support, or if we just want to help with sleep and just help with the stress of that day and things like that. We can change the oil out, which is tons of fun. You can if you're putting it on your kids and you're going to put it topically, again, you just might want to dilute it. So keep that in mind. So if I'm putting it on Ellie, for example, then we may put some stuff on her to make sure that it's more comfortable for her. You can also make a roller out of it and add some of that to it. So you've got a little bit of the RC, and you add some of the coconut oil to it, so it's already like that for your kids. It's a great way to do it. So ingredients in RC, it contains eucalyptus. There's 3 different types: Eucalyptus globulus, Eucalyptus radiata, Eucalyptus citriodora, I know it sounds awesome, myrtle, pine, marjoram, lavender, cypress, peppermint, and thuga. So awesome. Really great blend. Check that out. If you need more respiratory support, or your kids do, you're going to love it. It goes great with Raven. That's another blend, so you can check that out. All right, so the next oil in the lineup that is a crowd favorite, we take this with us every time we go on trips, is Digest, okay? So if you're the person that is sensitive and you need digestive support, if you're not eating at home and you're eating your strict diet, Digest is your friend. Okay, Digest is the oil that you want to have on you all the time. I say Digest, you say digestive support. Great for the stomach, great for making sure that you're digesting the food properly and you're keeping, keeping that pH going. And you use it topically, like topically over the abdomen. If you're using the topical blend, if you've got the Vitality line, you can either encapsulate that or put that in a drink. You can do that as well. But the topical one, you can put that straight over the stomach. Again, another hotter oil. So make sure that if you need to dilute it, do that. Just make sure and pay attention to it. So they actually take Digest, a really interesting story. One of the things about YL that you may not know if you're new to the company is that the company is incredibly focused on quality. Okay, so Young Living has the highest quality oils on the market, and we have a process that we ensure that happens called the seed to seal process. You go to seedtoseal.com, and it goes through all the different 5 steps. I won't go through all of them, but it basically makes sure and ensures that the company has control of the quality of the product from the time the seed goes in the ground to the time the oil goes on your skin or in your water or whatever, so that when you're using a specific oil, it's 100% that oil. And they go a step further to make sure that all of the oil is actually therapeutic grade and it's a high enough quality, even if it's pure and there's nothing else added to it. So that's really important. Well, only about 30% of the oils that are actually produced ever get bottled. So out of all of the 1,000 pounds of oils, there's only 30% of that ever makes it to the shelf to you. So the thing that they do with the other 70% is a lot of those oils, they turn around and they use it back on the crops as fertilizer, because it's still obviously a good quality product, but they just weren't going to bottle it because it wasn't up to the highest standards. So Digest is one that they use on the crops to balance the pH in the soil. Super awesome to be able to take it and put it on the soil in the crops and help balance the pH for the health of the plants. Well, it helps to do that in you as well. So that's really great. If you're using it for little kids, make sure you put it on their feet unless they're kind of a seasoned oiler and you know that they can handle it and stuff, because it's a little bit hotter. So keep it on their feet or dilute it and really look at that to make sure they're able to use it. So it's got peppermint, lemongrass, juniper, patchouli, ginger, fennel, tarragon, and anise. Really awesome blend. Really great one to support digestive tract. Panaway is up next. Panaway is up next. When you look at Panaway, okay, and you look at that awesome blue bottle, you're thinking joints and you're thinking soft tissue support. So on a daily basis, you create normal inflammation. Like it's a normal process the body goes through as you're walking and you're moving. If you grab a weight, you pick it up, whatever. If you do something, you pick up a chair and you move it, you move furniture, you're going to create different little strains and stuff in the body that's normal. Panaway is really great at supporting that. It's great for joint support. It's a weekend warrior must-have. If you're like me, and you think you're as good as you once was, and you're like, I'm going to go play tennis or I'm going to go play with my kid all out this weekend, Panaway is probably going to be one that you want to keep close at hand. Just saying. It's one that we love. It contains wintergreen, which is incredible for the soft tissue support as well. Helichrysum, which if you go look up helichrysum, it's going to blow your mind literally on all the things that helichrysum does. Clove, again, antioxidants, great support for that. And peppermint, which is great for circulation to be able to bring it to that area. And it smells like root beer, which is why Harper, our oldest, our 8-year-old, says that is why it's his favorite and why it's amazing. He just has to smell it because he's a root beer fanatic. He loves root beer. And so because it smells a lot like root beer, you know, Harper gives it his stamp of approval. So there you go. If root beer is your thing, then Panaway is going to be one of your favorite oils. All right. Stress Away is next on the list in our Let's Talk Oils Volume 1. And Stress Away helps to keep the stress away. I mean, that's what the blend is really for. So, I mean, who doesn't need that? Like, who doesn't need less stress during the day and stress support? Because, you know, if you wake up, you know, on a daily basis, there's stressors. Like, all of us have to deal with stressors on a daily basis, whether it's, you know, mental, physical, you know, chemical stressors, like whatever it is. We all need that extra support, especially if you have kids, right? So parents, am I right? Like you have kids, I have 5 kids, and so Stress Away is my friend. It's my friend. So it's super effective for daily stressors. It comes in a couple of different, it comes in a little dropper, also comes in a taller roll-on that you can use and just use it topically and have that in your purse, whatever is best for you. Helps to decrease stress and support that pathway and keep your body above the wellness line, because we know through research that the #1 thing that causes the nervous system to not be as healthy as it should be is stress. Period. Like, we're created for perfect function. Like I hope you know this. Like, I hope you know that the Lord created your body for perfect. And when I say that, people all the time are like, perfect. But it's true. The Lord created you for perfect, 24/7, 365, and He created the body to work well. Not to have all of these itises, isms, and syndromes. Like, that's not the way your body was created. Your body was created for perfect. And the thing that pushes us away from that is our environment and us putting ourselves into stressful situations like normal life, right? Like, that happens. Stress Away is a great way to be able to support that, okay? Contains COPAIBA, which is a great one. Lavender, we talked about earlier, that's really calming. Cedarwood, Acatea, lime, and vanilla. And it's just amazing to support that neurological system and support your body as you're going through those daily stressors. Get you some of that. All right, next up, that was just in Stress Away, we just talked about it, is COPAIBA, okay? Now, one of the things in Young Living that you're going to love as you get further along in the company, if you're new, and those of you who've been in Young Living for a while, you totally know this, are the monthly promo oils, right? So the monthly oils that you get for free, because the company is just so generous when you're ordering at different levels. Like if you're at 100 PV or 300 PV or whatever, they have different oils that are promo oils. Well, COPAIBA was an oil that was a promo oil that we had no idea what it was. So when we first started utilizing oils and we were like, hey, this is awesome, and we were, you know, starting to incorporate them in our family, we got it 1 month as a promotional oil. And we're like, what is this? How do you say this? Like, I don't even know what this is for. Like, what do you do with this, right? And so we researched it and we figured out that COPAIBA is literally soft tissue's best friend. So, you know, your soft tissue, your muscles, your joints, your ligaments, it's an incredible one at that. It's an incredible one at supporting that. One of the great things about COPAIBA too is that it's very, very cool, and it's very, very, like, it's not a hot oil and it's not an intense oil. It doesn't have an intense aroma. And so if people have a hard time with smells, like if it's really overpowering, COPAIBA is one that they might be able to do, because it's very tame is the way that I would say it. Very low-key oil. It's not really overpowering or anything like that, which is really great. Supports connective tissue by allowing and helping vitamin C to get on the inside. So, to geek out on you again and get in a little bit of the physiology, the building block of all of your connective tissue is called hydroxyproline, okay? Now, don't look that up. I'm not going to test you on it. But the building block, the basic building block of all of the hydroxyproline is vitamin C. So you got hydroxyproline, and then vitamin C is like the building block of that. So vitamin C is very important for soft tissue support. It's very important for the integrity of it and to make sure that you're repairing correctly. Well, COPAIBA helps to drive the vitamin C into the tissue and help with that repair and that support even quicker and more in depth. So that's a great benefit that you have of it. There is a really big movement now on CBD oil, right? Cannabinoids, and they're found in hemp oil and things like that. And so CBD is another oil that's on the market that is really great for helping with soft tissue and structure and things like that. Well, in COPAIBA contains 55% cannabinoids, right? So this is like the different constituents that just help with supporting the body and things like that. So that's such a great benefit. It's a great one to be able to add into your bag and use for that. So check it out and use it, you know, and again, get your testimonies on it and try this. Okay, so next up is one of my favorite oils to actually add to my drinks and to add to my Ningxia Red. And if you haven't tried that, we'll talk about that in volume 2. Don't miss that video. But orange oil, okay? So it's one of the citrus family oils like lemon and tangerine and some of the others. But orange oil is great for digestive support like all the other citrus oils. So when you think first for orange, think digestion. That's number one. It's a great pH balancer. The second thing I want you to think about for orange that is very fantastic about it is the fact that it supports the liver really well. It's a great liver supporter. And so being able to utilize orange internally, if it's the vitality in your Ningxia, which is what I love to do with it. It's also found in Ningxia. It's one of the oils in it. But to be able to utilize it topically as well or in the diffuser, you're able to support these systems. How great is that? Like how great is it to be able to take something like orange or thieves or whatever other one we've talked about and utilize something that doesn't have these toxins, that's a total, like just this very concentrated essence of the plant to support our body. Like such a gift, like such a huge gift. So orange is great. My Ningxia is where it goes every single day. And so I added to that. And so try it. You should try it in your Ningxia. I promise you will not be disappointed. Another oil that I use on a daily basis for soft tissue support is next on the list, lemongrass, okay? Remember we talked about, you know, the different daily things that you're going through and the stuff that you need support on? Lemongrass is great for that. So it supports muscles, supports joints. It's very purifying. So lemongrass helps to purify and support the blood. It helps to purify and support different tissues in your system, which is a great benefit of that one. It's really good for circulation. It's really good for supporting the tissue that you're normally creating scar tissue, like when you're working out. So you normally create scar tissue inside the muscles when you go lift something heavy or you do anything. That's what the body does. It supports that process to make sure that the body can continue to repair the way that it needs to on a daily basis. And it's found, excuse me, it's found in Purification and Orthosport. So Orthosport is a product that's a massage oil that's got great infused essential oils in it to be able to utilize pre-workout and things like that, or in a massage to support the tissue and things like that as well, even if you don't have the oil, okay? All right, so next up, let's talk about Citrus Fresh. So we've talked about how the citrus oils are really great for digestive support. Well, Citrus Fresh is a blend of different citrus oils. So if you look at the ingredients, it contains lemon, mandarin, tangerine, orange that we just talked about, grapefruit, and spearmint. So adding the citrus oils and spearmint, it's a fantastic digestive supporter. And so utilizing it into your water, like add it to a sparkling water and mix that with your Ningxia, you're gonna love it. It's so good. And it's so great to be able to do that. And you're drinking something that's good for you and that also tastes fantastic. I mean, that's a double bonus, right? Also really great for immunity. So you're thinking digestion and immune support at the same time. And one of the things you gotta remember is if you're supporting digestion, you're supporting immunity. Those two systems are really intertwined. A third of your nervous system and a third of your immune system is found in your digestive system. So if your gut ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Well, it's kind of like your digestive system. So if the digestive system is not doing its job perfectly, then other systems are going to start to follow suit. So, you know, when you're looking at system support and you've got different things happening and you know you need support, but you're like, I have no idea where to start. Like, I'm kind of lost. There's all these systems in the body. I don't know. Then start with digestion. You know, start with digestive support, and I promise you, even if that thing doesn't totally resolve, you're going to feel better and the body's going to work better. So add it to a diffuser to really lighten up and wake up the room and really make it welcoming. So if you've got people coming over, if you're a realtor and you're like, dude, I need to make this house like, you know, smell awesome so I can sell it, Citrus Fresh is probably going to be one of the ones that you want to look at. Okay, so next is tea tree. Remember we talked about how, you know, tea tree has another name. We'll go over that in a second. But tea tree oil is a lot like Thieves, that it's great for immune support and it's great for adding to cleaners. Like, it's also called Melaleuca alternifolia. Say that 10 times fast. But it's also called Melaleuca. And there's lots of different companies that use that oil, Melaleuca in itself, for cleaners and things like that. And so having tea tree to be able to add in and support your family as you're, you know, going around your house and in your living life is awesome. Very soothing to the skin. So you can use it topically to soothe the skin and to help with support in that area. And it's a very cleansing oil, okay? Cleansing, I like that. All right, and last up here in the Let's Talk Oils Volume 1 is Aroma Ease, all right? Aroma Ease is a blend that is great for digestion. So if you are a traveler and you go on cruise ships or you go on airplanes, and you need digestive support and you need stomach support, and you need to be able to make it down on the runway happy, Aroma Ease is a blend to be able to grab and use. It's my wife's favorite blend that we take. Cindy loves to take it when we go on trips, and she'll just sit there and be able to smell it and support and calm down the digestive system that way, and it's great. It contains peppermint and ginger, fennel, spearmint, and cardamom. So a great blend to be able to go through and utilize and to support that system. Very mentally calming, very easing, hence the name Aroma Ease. Great. So I hope that you got some different tips in this first video that goes through a lot of these oils. There's so much to learn, but don't get overwhelmed. Just pick one oil at a time and really use that oil, get your experience with it, use it in a diffuser, and then move on to the next one as you really find different things that you really want support out of that oil. I'm so happy that you're utilizing them. I'm so excited that you're learning more. I mean, that's really the thing, to learn more about this, to do better for your family. And one of the things that I say on all of my videos as I teach and stuff online is health is very simple. Like the body's created very simply. It's very, very lined out, and it's very simple, but it's not easy, right? But the utilizing and to be able to help and have these oils and stuff like this to help the body, it just makes it that much simpler. Thank you. Dig into this, and let's be well.